firemen. They were people that worked at Cantor Fitzgerald and the people in the building. I used to work in number one.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable.
If they were alive, they'd be listening to you and saying the same things every day that you say.
That's a very nice call, Mark. I really mean it because, I take chances in the radio business. If I get up here and they say, oh, he's a conservative, but he doesn't squash bugs, he must be, a liar or this and that. The exact opposite is true. Why do you have to squash a bug to prove you're a man?
Nothing. It's none of the above. I mean, I have your books.
And also, by the way, understanding like your father taught you as a captain in the Army, I'm sure he had his situations where he had to do things that normal men don't have to do with regard to violence. He understands that the spider didn't ask to be born, and it also offered no threat to him.
Hey, Mr. Savage, you're doing a great thing. I don't want to give you the fluff and stuff. I tell my friends all
stay on the line, Mark. Mark, stay on the line. I'm sending you a free copy of Psychological Nudity to give your father. Mark, stay on the line. Special present going out to you for the summer doldrums. I see that the New York Post stole my headline, King of Pill Popping. Thank you very much, Rupert. I appreciate it that your minions are listening. I like the New York Post. I enjoy the paper. It's just that they banned me. I like Andrea Pizer. I like some of the columnists, and I like the newspaper. I'm not a New York Daily News reader. As a kid, okay, we had the News, Mirror, and American. I have no idea what the American was. My father had the News, the Mirror, the American. And I said, well, Dad, why do you have 3 newspapers? He said, so I can get all opinions. I didn't even understand what he meant by all opinions. What does a kid know? I think the Post was liberal in his day. The Post was liberal. The News was considered like right-wing in those days. The News, and the American was probably, I have no idea. I have no idea what it was. The Journal American, who published it, I don't know. The Hearst Corporation, whatever. And he'd sit and read various editorials and opinions, and he would ponder and conclude, and then he'd make his own decision that way. And I think that that's what talk radio serves here in America. We are, in many ways, an alternate opinion to ABC, for example. Like, you take a look at Obama. He's staring at a young girl's behind. Very unpresidential. Very unbecoming. Yeah, guys do it, but he's not a guy. He's the president. That's my point. He's supposed to show self-constraint. Excuse me. And you got ABC going on there covering, saying he wasn't looking at the girls behind. He was watching a step. You hear this? Now, you wonder how in the world could journalism fall to this level? And now you understand why we survive in talk radio and why we're such a threat that they go to England and try to do the fairness doctrine through the back door by picking on me first, because they know I'm the most outspoken, number one. And they also know that no one else in the conservative movement is going to come to my aid because I've gored them with my mouth all my life. It's nice to make enemies on a daily basis on the Savage Nation, even those who see things the same way you do politically. It's nice every day making new enemies. In this world, you get up, you say a word, you make friends and enemies. So what are you going to do? Keep saying your own word. That's all. Have the guts to say what you mean. What are you going to do? Lose your job? Yes. In the communist America that you're living in, you're liable to. Leave it to me. Let me do it. You keep your mouth shut better. So let's see what we've covered so far. I've covered bullfighting should be eliminated because it's torture, and it's not the same as slaughtering animals humanely. And I'm showing you the difference. I didn't say don't eat meat. That's your decision. I have very strong opinions on the matter. I believe that the human being was designed it certainly was designed to be an omnivore. I've done this before. It doesn't mean there aren't strong vegetarians. I have a friend who's very strong. He's a martial artist, great guy, and he's a lacto-ovo vegetarian. I didn't say that. But if you look at your body, and I've done this before, once a year I do it since the summer. Why are you listening to me? Do this quickly. Take your 2 thumbs. Push your 2 thumbs at the roof of your mouth, boys and girls. You're going to feel your teeth, right? And 2 of them are very sharp. They're called canine teeth. Now do the same with your fingers. Canine. So you got 4 canine teeth. What does that mean? It means you're like a dog, which explains most of your behavior. But you're not only like a dog. A dog is a carnivore. It's meant to tear flesh with those teeth. Horrible thought, but that's what you're made of, okay? Now you got grinding teeth in the back. So you're not either a carnivore or an omnivore. You're not a carnivore nor an herbivore. You are an omnivore, which means you can eat both meat or flesh products, and you can grind the corn or the grain in the back of your mouth. What am I getting at? Your gut also is a mid-sized gut. A cow has a very long, convoluted gut. Why? Because it needs a lot of distance in the gut to digest the grasses that it eats. A dog or carnivores have short guts because meat passes through the intestine rapidly, okay? You have a mid-length gut for your size. For a man your size, you have a mid-length gut. And therefore, you're an omnivore. So don't be so nervous if you go out and you have a piece of meat or a steak or a fish. And by the way, let's say you're raising children. I don't know how many people I saw when my kids were young. Remember now, they were talking the 70s. So it was very big post-hippie age. A lot of people became hippie vegetarians. Inevitably, you watch the kids at 2, 3 years old. You're feeding your kid a chicken sandwich, a hamburger, whatever. And the kid is a vegetarian. Oh, no, my child doesn't touch meat. The minute their mother turned her head, the child's eyes would light up and they would be drooling trying to steal your child's chicken sandwich. They were starving for a piece of flesh, the vegetarian kids. And if you put it near them, they grabbed it like a jackal off the table because the child was craving, usually B12. Most vegetarians are either B12 deficient or iron deficient, and it's terrible to see the girls today. It is awful. I'm not mocking them. Most women who are vegetarian don't understand they have to get supplements. The supplement B12 in particular, they're not getting it no matter how many soybeans they eat. They don't know anything about balancing food. They think, oh, vegetarianism. Wrong. That's why they have no energy, and they lose iron once a month because they're women. No one even tells them that. They're either ashamed or stupid. And so women need to get supplements with calcium, iron, B12, and other nutrients, and they're not getting it from their food. And you see women turn around the minute they're supplemented properly. With the years ago when I was, in the field of nutritional medicine, when I actually was in it, you should see people turn around when you give them the right diet. Anyway, we've moved a little bit around today in the Savage Nation, and we're going to be right back.
This is Talk 910 KNEW.
Yeah.
Friday in the Savage Nation. Thanks for being with me thus far. Here are some new headlines. I called him the king of pill pop, and they said the king of pop. I said king of pill pop on Tuesday. It was brave of me to do so, but it was pretty clear that that's what he was, while the rest of the media was glorifying him. Turns out he took 10 Xanax a night. That's what we know now, okay? And, of course, this was while Obama was giving away the nation's security to Russia. God knows what else. God knows what he's going to give away by the time he gets home, and then try to railroad yet another ridiculous radical left-wing program down our throats, further bankrupting America. So there it is. Blue dog Dems put brakes on health reform. Well, I'll see it when I believe it. Blue dog Dems put brakes on health reform. Yeah. Well, where are we now? We got good callers on Tippers. We got good callers on Tipper Gore. Where is Tipper Gore now that we don't need her? San Francisco. Emil, welcome to the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Mike, good talking to you again. When I was driving a cab in the 70s, the worst tippers were airline pilots. The worst.
Emil, come on. You're calling me from San Francisco. You're sitting up there on Potrero Hill with your Goombas, drinking your wine and making scungili. And you remember being a cab driver?
Oh, yeah. I was driving a cab before I went in the Marine Corps, and, I made some side money. Back then it was 60-40, 60 to the house, 40 to your pocket, and it was always an early pickup. And these multivans...
Emil, let me ask you something. I'm homesick. I'm not in San Francisco. Are you actually in your clubhouse?
No, I just left there. I came home, take a shower. We're going to head up to North Beach for a little macaroni, meatballs, and sausage.
Where are you going to find good meatballs in North Beach?
In the back room at the Mona Lisa on Columbus.
Oh, you're going to go into that joint because, meatballs are very hard to find. I'm going to have a report Monday, Emil, and everyone else, on the best meatballs from the Boca Raton area to San Francisco right here on the Savage Nation. I'm actually going to have some Italian chefs on with meatball recipes because a good meatball is hard to find. I'm very serious. I am going to have dinner tomorrow night at an undisclosed location in Florida, and then I'm going to have the chef on Monday with his special grandmother's special meatball recipe. It's the veal, stupid.
Savage. Michael Savage. Afternoons 3 to 7 on Talk 910 KNEW and online at 910KNEW.com.